You're this perp back with another video, and if you're like a wrestling fan like myself, even though I did kind of fall out with wrestling over the years as I got older, I just am a attitude era baby, you know what I'm saying? So that's always going to be my cup of tea, and it's so dope to kind of see these wrestling stories come out, because there's a lot of really dope ones. The Von Erichs I'm not too familiar with, but I'm glad going into this movie, you know what I'm saying, that I got to watch it. And it's unfortunate that other wrestling stories are just things that kind of surround wrestling, like Heels got canceled, because that was a phenomenal show. This movie definitely kind of gave me that type of vibe from Heels, and kind of you can kind of see the, you know, influences a little bit in Heels within this movie. And I just really think that this was a great movie. First and foremost, this is starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, which is I'm a huge fan with, and it's dope to finally see him on the big screen, and hopefully we'll get to see him more in more big roles like this in the future. You also have Harrison Dixon, I think that's his name, and Stanley Simons. These four actors play the brothers. This is mainly focused on Zac Efron as Kevin Von Erich, and you have Jeremy Allen White, he plays Kerry. Then you have Stanley Simons, he plays the youngest brother, Michael. And Harrison, he plays David. So there's a bunch of other actors in here that are pretty dope, and it's interesting to kind of see the legacy of this family and how their father was on some Joe Jackson shit, to be honest, or some LeVar Ball shit, where he just pushes his kids to be the greatest, because he's always wanted the heavyweight title and he's never gotten that opportunity. He's always feel like he's been kind of thrown under the bus, or not thrown under the bus, but he's been kind of being played in a way that, you know, they're trying to say like, oh, he's not worthy. And his whole character is like he's pushing his kids to become champions, and that has some repercussions. And you've heard this in the trailer, that there's just like kind of family curse, and that's really fascinating to kind of see play out in this movie, because the first like half of this movie, it's like all sunshine and rainbows, it seems all good, but you definitely see where some problems are going to arise. And you don't see Kerry, played by Jeremy Allen White's character, for a minute, because he's like getting ready to go to the Olympics, but something happens, you know, because of the whole Cold War and shit with Russia. He ends up going back home. So the first kind of half really focuses on Kevin, David, and Michael. Michael being kind of the oddball out of the group. He's not the most athletic. He's more into music and art and stuff like that. And it's kind of shitty how his father kind of set this whole competitive nature with these brothers, even though they're as thick as thieves and stuff throughout the movie, but you definitely see them kind of clash, especially like Kerry and Kevin. And you just kind of see Kevin just go up the ranks within the wrestling world, getting all these big opportunities. Also, you get to see a glimpse of his love life, his love interest, and him kind of starting this family of his own. And just the things that he's kind of dealing with throughout this film is just really hard for a person, or just anybody that has a large family like that, to kind of deal with the tragedies that they had to kind of deal with. And their father just being so caught up in just winning, even though he does love his kids, but I think he loves wanting to get that title. He's more obsessed with that than anything else. And man, this was a fantastic movie from start to finish. I really like to see some of the earlier stages, or just the early days of wrestling, You know, you get mentions of Ric Flair, and Ric Flair does pop up in this, and I will say that's probably my only negative about this is the guy that plays Ric Flair, he just really, I wasn't really sold on him as Ric Flair. His woo wasn't wooing, you know what I'm saying? So, other than that, this was a phenomenal movie. If you're a wrestling fan, a wrestling historian, whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying, I think you're going to absolutely walk away loving this movie. And even if you're not a fan of wrestling, I think you can still appreciate all the different performances and just the story that was going on in this, and seeing it, you see the rise and fall of the Von Erich family, even though they're still considered one of the best wrestling families to this day, which is really dope to see that they got nominated, or they were inducted into the Hall of Fame in like 2009. And man, this was a ride. This was very emotional. Definitely one of the best films of the year. But I don't want to go any further with spoilers. You should definitely go check this out. This is a perfect, I wouldn't say perfect movie for the holidays, but yeah, it's a really great movie just to be put out at the end of the year. A24 has really just outdone themselves once again. But if you have seen this movie, let me know your thoughts of it in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.